Hello everybody, with a trip here. In other words, the original card game for the win! And the thing is, yeah, I was right. They did kind of just swap out which one I was due next, although that was a while ago. Because I have been, like, earning lots of stuff just to build a huge number of packs for Theros Beyond Death. And the thing is, there's going to be a lot of stuff I'm going to like in it, and some things that's kind of a little, well, not bad, just a little, I don't know, just not as in line with the mythological theme in terms of their epicness. So, but I do kind of expect a bit more from these highly like myth and legend type uh, expansions. So I can see that just being the fact I might have slightly too high expectations. Although a lot of Theros Beyond Death is actually particularly cool. The only the only thing is that the main new ability that stuff has is just not as good as some previous incarnations of it. So I just find the new escape dynamic to be a tad disappointing. But that's just the fact that I've been a long time gamer and I know that there's been better ways they've handled things coming back from the grave. Or in this case, it's kind of like beyond the afterlife. So a bit different. I do have a boatload of wild cards, and partially because there was some I wasn't sure which way I wanted to spin them at the time, but with Theros Beyond Death here, I probably will. So let's just go packs first for this little opening party. And yes, I have 11 packs, so this is gonna get wild. Oh, now they label things first if it's your first copy. That's kind of a nice little thing here. I don't think I'd seen that before, actually. Sienna, captain of the Pileus. Okay. Underworld Charger. Witness of Tomorrows. There's a dramatic name for an enchantment creature. Also, another dynamic in Theros, both the previous block and this one, is the idea of mixing two types that haven't been mixed very often, but tend to come up in their case, and that's enchantment creature. So they're both an enchantment and a creature, so they're vulnerable to things that target enchantments. It also counts as an enchantment in play for things that count those up, etc. So basically, if it deals with enchantments, it also deals with them as well. Bronze sword, so another piece of equipment. Not the equipment I'm really looking for, but I have like 10 more packs to open, so we'll see there. Portent of Betrayal. Aspect of Manticore. Okay, so that's a very quick enchantment. Anytime you got an enchantment with Flash, things can get really interesting. So yeah. Floss's design. The great spinner is going with things. Let's see what I get with this. Okay, so interesting story here. I couldn't get this as a pet because that was a limited time offer, but now I have it as a legendary creature card on my first pack. So I think that's nice. Also, I really like the dragon even more, so admittedly, I'm okay with that. But I don't even think you can buy a dragon anymore as a pet, so I got that in time off my own merit from earning in-game gold, so yeah. And Kunaros, Hound of Athreos, is awesome. Kind of. I mean, he has a consequence. Vigilance, Menace, and Lifelink, which is impressive. Although 3/3, so kind of moderate there, but you can always pair them up. Creature cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield, and players can't cast spells from graveyards. That goes both ways, because that'll also affect you. So if you got things that resurrect stuff from the grave, he's not going to let you do that, even within yourself. So it'd be slightly better if it was opponents only, but I can accept that trade-off if I was using the right deck. So I can see how he'd be awesome. So a couple legends in there. Next pack. This is a total opening party. And yes, and because I'm opening packs, I'm also earning more wild cards. So this is gonna count up heavy. A Nyx Herald. Beginning of combat on your turn, target enchanted creature or enchantment creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains trample until entered. So that's just a free ability to be used, but once per turn. That's actually pretty nice. And it counts as an enchantment creature. Inspire Awe. Captivating Unicorn. It's not an enchantment creature. I think that's kind of interesting, seeing how it's a sparkly unicorn. Final Death. Ichthyomorphosis. Turns the creature into a fish. Underworld Ragehound. That looks... You see, here's the thing with the escape dynamic. You pay a certain amount, and you exile other cards from your graveyard, so you're not going to be able to resurrect them as easily, if at all. And sometimes things deal with escape, like it says, it escapes with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. So it comes back stronger than it was before, but still, the fact that you're exiling other cards, unless you're playing a deck where you don't really worry about the cards in your graveyard, that could be a problem. But I can see that with a lot of players, so admittedly, that's a strategy. Burn off the excess. Allure of the Unknown. So, yeah. Okay, next. Well, the thing about this being a new set, I'm getting a lot of first collections of cards, so yeah. Sea God Scorn. Thanks for that. So between Thassa and Kiora, we got quite a flood going there. Gift of Strength. Kirametra's Blessing. Relentless Pursuit. Oread of Mountain's Blaze. Okay, so we have a nymph. The Sweet Oblivion. Ooh, kind of. A sorcery that can be exiled. That's interesting. Kind of a wild card. So my wild card collection. Ooh, another legend is my in my rare mythic slot. Femia the Cacophony. A black legendary enchantment creature that's a harpy. Flying at the beginning of your instep, you may exile an enchantment card from your graveyard. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So, if you're burning off enchantments that have been destroyed, that'd be one way to use them. Next. Yeah, again, a lot of firsts, so cool. Mischievous Chimera. Do you really want one to be mischievous? That's a thought. Iliad Pilgrim. Now, this has actually been around before in a couple sets, including a previous Theros block. But also, you may remember this card from Magic Duels, because it was part of the Magic Origin set, because Gideon is from Theros. So, therefore, it had to be having each of the 5 major planeswalkers, origin planes, so therefore you had to have Iliad Pilgrim. So this is actually one I've collected before, but in a very different way, or at least a very different game. Chain to Memory. Stern Dismissal. Final Flare. Very dramatic, but at the same time, that extra price could be painful. Unless, of course, you're playing just the right combo. Wink, wink. And nudge, nudge. Tectonic Giant. Oh, when an attacker becomes target of a spell an opponent controls, choose one. Deals 3 damage to each opponent, or exile the top 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them. Till end of turn, you may play that card. So, he's an elemental that just rumbles the field. And, of course, Inevitable End. That's ominous in more than one way. Definitely one you'd want to give to your opponent in an interesting fashion. Earned a rare. So I'm earning more along the way. Isn't that cool? Illyrius Enraptured. This guy just isn't as big of a deal as you might think for a legendary uncommon. He just has an interesting little quirk there. Banishing Light. Oh yeah, there's a classic that's back. Sleep of the Dead. Aw, they put the Cerberus to sleep. Okay. Eros' Blessing. Irreverent Revelers. Thanks for that, Satyrs. Moss Viper. It has Death Touch. Yeah, green's the other thing that often has Death Touch other than black, so yeah, that's toxic. Transcendent Envoy. Helps you cast your aura spells, which is always nice. Yeah, Sun Crown. Oh, I flipped it off, so I didn't get to show it to you as much as I was going to, but I was after him specifically, so that saves me a mythic rare. In fact, I can kind of skip back and show where it is in collection, because there are ways of, yeah. Heliod, Sun Crowned, legendary enchantment creature, God. Indestructible as long as your devotion to white is less than 5. Heliod isn't a creature. That basically means he can't attack or block. He's just kind of there, but he's still an enchantment. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or enchantment you control. Which is interesting, you putting a +1/+1 counter on an enchantment, but I can understand because he'd only be an enchantment when he isn't a creature, but you'd still be stockpiling the counters for whenever he is. And the same would also be true of the other Theros-style gods, as opposed to the ones from War of the Spark, or for that matter, the Amonkhet block they were originally from, where they have a different style of how they work. So yeah, and pay 1 generic and 1 white. Another target creature gains lifelink until end of turn. Yeah, I was seriously wanting this guy. So let's go back to packs. But yeah, sorry I clicked the wrong area. Okay, let's see here. Satyr's Cunning, the first one. Creating a satyr, but it can't block. Still not entirely sure if I'm really as worried about that. Riptide Turtle, Flash and Defender. It's a big turtle. I mean, 0/5 isn't anything to really scoff at, because even though it has no power, it's going to take a while to get past that, because it has 5 points of toughness. Slaughter Priest of Mogis. Yeah, this guy could be kind of dangerous. Minotaur Shaman. The Irreverent Revelers again. Thank you for that statement. Temple of Malice. Okay. Fair enough. Non-basic land. Thank you. Always appreciate those. Oh, several firsts again. Commanding Presence. Oh, okay. Enchanted creature gets a good amount here. A +2/+2 first strike, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 white human creature, human soldier creature token. So okay, so they get extra heroic there. Nice. They're pretty nice for an uncommon. Nexus Wardens. Okay, whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life, which is good for all the enchantment creatures around here. Fruit of Theros. Target player loses 2 life, but you can also use Escape to bring it back out. Memory Drain. Chainweb Arachner. That's an interesting version. Okay. Common wildcard, so again I'm building more welcome. Another Tectonic Giant. Okay, got 4 more here. Yeah, again, earning as I go. Uncommon. Plummet. Old classic. Just instantly nuke a creature with flying. Scavenging Harpy. Okay. Traveler's Amulet. Citizen Skirmisher. Yeah, I had the Underworld. Sorry. Underworld Rage Hound before. Nyx Lotus. Oh my gosh, I totally would have spent a rare on that one. Because that is just awesome. Enters the battlefield tapped, but check out that ability. Tap it and choose a color, add an amount of mana of that color equal to your devotion to that color. And that's something I also need to go over with, is to how Theros worked before and how it's working now, as to what devotion means. And I can illustrate that right now. What devotion means is it's the number of mana symbols of a particular color and the casting cost of permanents you control. So this Mischievous Chimera would count as 1 devotion towards blue and 1 devotion towards red. The Scavenging Harpy would only count as 1 devotion towards black, because generic mana doesn't count towards that devotion. Also, because it has to have a color, no artifact counts. So this would count as nothing towards your devotion. This would count as 1 red. So, kind of indicating how that works. Escape velocity. He's running up a pillar. It like, who knows how fast. Not even death can catch me now. There's an interesting quote. Yeah, I'm just running up, like, forever. Like, right out of the underworld. Goodbye, everybody. Starlit Mantle. So, and another aura that might help out. But, yeah, we'll see. I mean, it'd be... Yeah, it could work. Nyxborn Colossus, it's just a really big giant. But it's still a really big giant, so that helps. Oh, one of the demigods that I was gonna even possibly spend an uncommon on. The thing is, all the demigods are actually uncommon rather than rare or mythic rare. So that's interesting, and kind of showing this off. Renata's power is equal to your devotion to green, which means basically she counts as 2 points of devotion in and of herself that way. So then if you're playing heavy green, it just keeps going up. I mean, that's all power. So if you do get a clear shot, she's going to hit like a truck and a half. Yeah, each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on, which is really nice in and of itself. Like, seriously. Gravebreaker Lamia. Isn't Snake Lamia a little redundant? I'm just wondering there. But it'll help you with getting cards cast out of the grave. So, interesting. It's always good to have a lifelinker. Okay, let's see what we got in my last few here. Okay, let's see, anything new? Okay, Hero of the Pride. Okay, nice. Sentinel's Eyes. That could come in handy. Wolf Willow Haven. You get some... You get a wolf. Okay. Unknown Shore. If you are desperate for a mana of a particular color, that could help. I actually got him before. Sometimes this happens. You get more than one of a rare or mythic. So, it's a chance. Speaking of rare wild card just got made again. Triumphant Surge. Okay. That could also come in. Whack a large creature and get some life points back. So good. Thrill of Possibility. Galia of the Endless Dance. She's a very happy satyr. Yeah. Okay, how much do I got after that? 14 common, 10 uncommon, 3 rare, and 2 mythic rare. Okay, let's go card hopping here. Okay, so not collected. Theros Beyond Death. Thank you. Okay. Now, I have... How many... I have 10 uncommon. Wow, it's nearly as many as I have common. That's kind of insane. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just collect all the demigods. So, Daxos, Blessed by the Sun. Toughness equal to Devotion White, and whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, you gain 1 life. So, yeah, he'd be good. Definitely want him. That's one thing in modern Magic the Gathering is you also have uncommon legends as well, and that's interesting in and of itself that they kind of got it that far down, but you never know. Okay, let's see here. Maybe later. Oh, yeah, I can't fully... Oh, wait, that's right. There is a way to scroll. I had to... Yeah, had to remember how that worked. That one also powers something up, so that's nice. Huh. Could come in handy. Let me see here. That's one I definitely wanted when I was checking this out before. Because you can kind of resurrect enchantments. It's kind of an old school ability that some other cards have had in the past, although in different ways. So, yeah. Let me see here. That one also does that, although in a different way. So, maybe the two together might be something. But I also need to prioritize on the demigods a bit. I already got one, so that helps. This guy was one of them I'm thinking of. So we'll see about that. Oh, one of the demigods. Power is equal to devotion to blue, and creatures and enchantments you control have spells your opponents cast that target this permanent cost 1 more to cast. So it kind of slows them down on just spell slinging at you. Okay, let's see here. There are a few others that are definite priorities, so I'm going to try to go through those first if I can. Thassa Deep Dwelling is one that I might. But we'll see. Okay, this is one I was wanting because I knew it'd go good with my decks. And it's a common card, so that makes it easy. Thank you. One of the demigods. Toughness is equal to your devotion to black, and you can use them to exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. You gain 1 life for each creature exiled this way. Just for one generic and 1 black each time doing that. Oh yeah. Okay. Looking for any of them that I'm considering like an absolute priority. It's not quite. Okay, let's see here. Going through them. Ah, here we go. X hardened in the forge. X's power is equal to your devotion to red, and whenever X or another non-token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 red satyr creature token which this creature can't block. If the creature had power 4 or greater, create 2 of those tokens instead. You know, token creatures always have a mana cost of 0 no matter what you spent on them. So that means that they never count no matter what their color is towards devotion. So that's something to think about. Yeah, there are some of these going to be hard choices as to what to spin some of those others on. But some I've kind of definitely got in mind. So I'm having an opening and just wildcard party. So it's just going all out. Okay, let's see here. Hydra's growth is one that's, out of the uncommons, one of my big priorities. Because that ability is ridiculous. At the beginning, you have to keep double the number of +1/+1 counters on the enchanted creature, and when it enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on that enchanted creature, so it just keeps growing. I mean, that's a Hydra for you. Yeah, I had to prioritize on that one. Let's see here. That one I went up against before, which is interesting. Okay, let's see here. Have I gone past all the main colors? Because I got the green one already, and then I bought white, black, blue, and red. So yeah, okay, so I got all the demigods. This guy is definitely one of my priorities. Theros, Veil Shrouded. Indestructible, as long as your devotion to white and black is less than 7, Theros isn't a creature. At the beginning of your instep, put a coin counter on another target creature. Whenever a creature with a coin counter on it dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. You see, that is absolutely awesome. He grants creatures extra lives. It basically for free, but once a turn. It is limited to once per turn, but I'm okay with that. Ashiok Nightmare Muse is one that, if I wanted to play dimmer style, where I going blue and black, then yeah, this is definitely the guy. Because, I mean, just seriously. I mean, I went for and against this in that opening event for Theros, so yeah, I think I had that on camera. Maybe this guy too. Probably gonna go with Ashiok Nightmare Muse. Okay, let's see here. I mean, him eventually, but he's not one of my super priorities. Bronzehide Lion is interesting as green and white, so I might actually go Selesnya Combine style at some point and go in and have a true green-white deck, because this really would go into it, because if it dies, it can enchant a creature and make it able to have indestructible till end of turn for just like 1 white and 1 green, so that's actually pretty cool. So I'm definitely taking that in as a yes. Okay, Lion. See, how much rare do I got? I got 2 rares left, and I know that there's one I've kind of got on reserve. This guy would be very interesting in my Boros style deck. That ability is just kind of wacky, random. I mean, seriously. And we have a new Planeswalker. Calyx, Destiny's Hand. And him I might figure out how to work with later. Okay, let's see here. The Shadow Spear I definitely want. Because that legendary piece of equipment is awesome. Equipped creatures +1/+1 has trample and lifelink, and you can just pay one any time whether it's equipped or not, and permits your opponent's control, lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Yeah. I'm definitely taking the Shadow Spear. And that's also, oops, did I double that? I think I accidentally doubled that. Oh, that's bad. I didn't mean to do that. I double tapped. That's very bad. This I definitely wanted as a common. See, this is where lag in the game can also cause you to do things you didn't want to. In other ways other than combat. Because it can sometimes register something more than once. See, this I'm taking. See, I wanted to get the fish guy, too. Because he has this whole thing where you get to... yeah, I suppose I can do this. But the fish guy that does artifacts is really awesome. Nothing past that point. Okay, what else do I got? I got 3 more uncommons, like 11 commons. That's actually pretty impressive. Because I was also wanting... I don't think it's registering because I can't buy it anymore. And that guy I was thinking of, kind of. As this guy, Adalico's Crafter Wonders. I was wanting him rather than a second copy of the spear. So that double tap that it forced me into was just very bad timing for it to wig out on me. Yeah, sometimes it lags in very weird ways, but that's nothing that can be completely helped. It just is what it is. So, yeah. I'm gonna have to obviously get more stuff eventually, but that kind of goes through a lot of those things, and I can go hunt down like my commons and uncommons even more over time. But let's see how much. I still have like 11 common and 3 uncommon. That is pretty huge, actually. So let's see if there's anything else I'd like. Creature and enchantment spells you control can't be countered. Yeah. There's more than one thing that says this is a good idea. And yeah, they're bringing back sagas as well. That's just something to note that they started that in Dominaria, and they're having sagas in this new Theros block, or at least Theros Beyond Death. I don't know if it's going to be a full block. Actually, that's a pretty good question. Actually, so just saying. Ouch, that would be painful. I also hit your side too. So, So anything else I'd like with my last few here? Okay. You don't? Yeah. Ouch. That could be useful for a kill card. um, Drag to the underworld. Yeah, I'll go for it. This will be good for a common. Up. I'll probably need 2 of them anyhow. So in that case, yeah. Because getting lifelink isn't, well, it's not as bad as it could be, but it's not as easy as it used to be either. Minions return. See, I have 1 uncommon left. So maybe? That's an interesting comment. Can't be blocked by enchanted creatures or enchantment creatures. There used to be something else like that. That just couldn't be blocked by enchanted creatures, but now we have enchantment creatures, so there you go. Okay. Eight common and 1 uncommon. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's this guy. Well, I think he's a rare, yeah. So I'm gonna have to get more rares at some point. That could be painful. Yeah. Use one of that guy. Oh yeah, I was thinking of taking the Archon before. Because the Archons are also interesting. And they're kind of a new type. And they kind of represent another major group, so yeah. That'll do it for my uncommons, so now I'm just down to commons. Got 7 commons left. So let's see what we can get for that might be interesting, because there's a lot of good commons out there too. Again, sometimes finding the right common is harder than finding the right rare or mythic rare. This could be extremely annoying. Especially in this format. Revoke existence also sounds incredibly nasty, and yes, I'll have more than one, thank you. Okay, so that's as far as it goes that way. Oh, Sunlit Hoplite. One version of her actually requires these cards specifically. So, I'm gonna max it out just in case I want to do an Elspeth deck. And just go ballistic with having 4 of them, because that would kind of help out that ability quite a bit. If you actually had all 4 copies. I have like a ton of common wild cards, so I was able to actually spin 4. I have like 1 left though. Be careful about that one. Okay, let's see here. What would be a good common to just throw out? Or rather to throw in. Oh! That Pegasus looks really nice. Sunmane Pegasus can be paired up to have Vigilance and Lifelink until end of the turn for only... Join lips. For only 1 generic and 1 white. I like that. I like that quite a bit. Okay. So now I'm drained of my wild cards. I don't have too terribly much gold left, but I have an absolute boatload of Theros, and I am definitely willing to put it together later and figure out what I'm going to do with it. Yeah, you can see we don't even have like a pets button right now. It's just checking that as one last thing, and no, it's not doing it. So, oh well. I guess that means that all my playing will be orientated to things other than pets for a while. Of course, again, I really like the dragon most of all, so that's fair enough. I mean, there could eventually be something else that's a good pet, and once you have one, even if it's limited time only, you can always switch back to it. But I think I'm just going to go with the dragon anyhow. So I'm not really too disappointed that I couldn't get the Kunaros pet, which is, again, that Cerberus there. So I guess I'll be logging off for now. So hope to hear from you all later, and bye for now, everybody.